Welcome back to Bits of an Artist's Life. I'm Sandy Hester. I'm a professional artist. On this channel, you get bits of my life as an artist, from going out to painting to my supplies, all thing artist, or just even sometimes regular life, like us moving from America to England last year. This week, what I'd like to do is talk to you about my palette, my acrylic palette, and what I have on it. I have a staple palette that is always there. Every now and then a new color will kind of come in and I'll test it. It usually doesn't stay, but I thought I would show this to you. If you do not work in acrylics, maybe you're a watercolor artist or you use oils, you're still gonna be interested in this palette, because I think one of the things people don't realize is that though these may be acrylics and something like this is watercolor, French ultramarine is a pigment. And so French ultramarine, with that dry pigment, you add different binders to it to make it either oil paint, acrylic, or watercolor, gouache, all the different things. The pigment is the pigment. And yes, sometimes different brands will add fillers or not use as good of pigment or put as much pigment into a paint. It's still the same across the board. So what that means is if I have a set color palette of my acrylics, I have those same colors on my watercolor palette. Now, on my watercolor palette, I do have other colors because they're just convenient colors, because I'm usually out sketching and I need things quickly. But I have French ultramarine on my acrylic palette, on my watercolor palette, in my gouaches, in my, if I'm going to paint with the oils, I put French ultramarine out. So I put the same set palette out because I know that French ultramarine and burnt sienna are going to work the same. Whether they're in watercolors or oil or acrylic, I'm still going to be able to make a beautiful black or brown with those two pigments, no matter what the binder is. So I think it's helpful to work in a standard palette, whether you have a lot of colors or limited colors. I have pretty limited colors. I found that the more I know those piano keys, what Cad Red and Ultramarine do, I'm going to know how to play those same keys when it comes to my watercolors of Cad Red and Ultramarine. Even though they work a little different because it is a different medium, I'm still going to be able to get the same color mixes and values for the most part. I have this in my online class called Everything You Want and Need to Know About Acrylics. I think that's what it's called. It's something like that. So if you are interested in knowing far more about the way I deal with acrylics, the way I store them, varnishing, mediums, all the things. I have an online class about that. I also have many other online classes, but that will go through all the nuts and bolts of how I use acrylics. So I work with a limited palette. I pretty much have a palette of a warm and a cool of each color. So a warm and cool of yellow, warm and cool red, warm and cool blue, etc. And then a few other colors added. Let's look at the palette and I'll talk to you a little about why I have these colors and some of the mixtures that I like and why I have these specific colors on my palette. Let's look at this palette. Again, if you want to know more about the way I store these and just all of that, it's in that class. But today we're just going to be looking at my actual palette, and I'll do swatches in my sketchbook here. I prefer LIQUITEX soft body paint. Absolutely love it. I love the consistency. I love the pigment, everything about it. I buy it when I can in these giant bottles of 32 fluid ounces. So I try, if they have the color, I get it in this large one. This is the medium, and then it comes in a smaller tube than this, or a tub, or whatever you would call this. It has like this little squeezy thing. And actually, I need some more ultramarine, so I think I'm going to go on and just squeeze some in here right now. So I'm going to use my sketchbook here, and I will swatch this for you. So obviously, you can tell that my paints are quite contaminated. So I don't worry about dipping my brush in here and getting other colors or leaving little bits of paint. It's completely fine. that's just not a big deal to me. And you can tell that my yellow is quite contaminated. I have two yellows in here, and I cannot find this warm yellow, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So let's just start from the beginning. Let me not get ahead of myself. So titanium white, I'm not going to swatch that obviously because that won't show up on the page. The main yellow that I use is, I'm going to try to also get a place where it's not contaminated. Let's do it like this. This is a CAD yellow light, and what I have right next to it is a CAD medium. I can't find that tube. Sometimes I'll have a cooler and a warm, but you'd be fine with either. Some people like to use a lemon yellow, which is what I used to use. I find that CAD light is just fine. Like I said, sometimes I'll put a warmer yellow on there. On my watercolor palette, I do have, ooh, that's so dirty and contaminated. I have a lemon yellow and then a warmer yellow. I probably don't need to go into my watercolors, but basically you can see that it's the same thing there. Next, I like to use, instead of raw sienna, which you can totally use, I prefer yellow oxide. I do sometimes squeeze a little of the raw sienna in there because they are two different colors. Here is the yellow oxide. I feel like that could have gotten mixed up. I dropped my palette. Yeah, that's a little better right there. This is forever like flopping out of my bike when I'm going someplace and my paint goes everywhere. This is a raw sienna. And again, I have that on my palette here, a raw sienna on my watercolor. And I'll show you in a minute how those all kind of work the same. Then I have a burnt sienna. I feel like this is indispensable. Great color, and I use that a lot for mixing. Then I have a either a CAD red medium or CAD red light. I think in the LIQUITEX I can only get this CAD red in the medium, but I do prefer the light. It's a little warmer, and I like a red that leans a little more to like an orangish red, but to warm this up I can just add a little bit of the yellow, and that will pretty much get me the CAD red light. So for the sake of money, I just go ahead and buy the big, the CAD red medium in this giant one. Okay, you can tell that this is so contaminated, and let's see if I can get like a bit of it non-contaminated. This is quinacridone magenta, and I used to use alizarin crimson, but I found that I really like this color a whole lot better. And if I need like a real nice bright pink, that works good. I think that white and maybe even the pink were a little contaminated because it's usually a little brighter than that, but that's fine. And again, I have that Quin magenta on my watercolor palette. So basically, I have a warm and a cool of my reds, either just a standard yellow or a warm and cool yellow, and my kind of dirty, earthy colors. I have one more earthy color that we're going to get to. But the blues, my main blue, if I only had to take one blue, it would be ultramarine. That's my workhorse. I love it. I don't reach for anything else nearly as much as my ultramarine. And I have that on my watercolor palette also. Okay, for my blue, in this tub I've got two different blues because I've been trying to decide which one I want to use. I've got a brilliant blue, which is a really nice blue by LIQUITEX. It's kind of like, I don't know, bright, it's light, but I also enjoy a cobalt blue, which is again a lighter blue. That one's kind of contaminated because I don't have a teal on here because I can make teal with the green that I have and one of these blues. Teal enough. I don't really use teal very much, but again, it's because I know my colors. It's those piano keys. I don't need like a teal, which I don't really use teal very much, but that's easy to do. So I don't want a jumble amount of colors. You will see this right here on my palette. Sometimes I'll put either like a buff titanium or unbleached titanium, or when my white gets super dirty and towards the end, I'll mix it all up and put it over here, and that gives me usually like a nice kind of neutral white that I use a lot, and that works out well. So sometimes I'll have that there. Next, I have one of my favorite greens, and I think you'd be surprised that I use this green. It's an emerald green. And I like it because it is very like fake grass green. But for me, it's very useful because I can push it to different, a cooler or warmer, depending on what other yellows or just what else I add to it. But also it makes a nice, that was quite contaminated white I dipped into. But it just makes a nice bright green also if I'm doing like somebody's clothing or something like that. I can get that nice fake green, but I can also dirty it up with my next color that I'm going to tell you about, which is raw umber. Maybe I shouldn't get to mixes yet, but let me show you this. So see how I can get such a nice natural green by adding other things to it. And then if I added a little white to that, or if I added a little yellow to that, yeah, I can just push it. But if I only have one green like that on here, then I know what to do with it because I've played and played. Let me not get ahead of myself. Let's stay with color mixing. All right, as I said, this next one is raw umber. To me, this isn't necessary. It's very just poop brown. But it's so handy to dirty colors up, to make like a nice black, if I add that to ultramarine, or just a nice like dirty blue. Look how beautiful that blue is. Add a little white to it and you can see, that's like blue jean color right there. That's beautiful clouds. And then the black that I always have, most people, or a lot of people are scared of black. I don't really know why. Maybe because you've gotten the wrong black or you've been told don't put black on your palette. Black is indispensable also to me, and I have it on my watercolor palette. But black is so useful for dirtying things up. And I feel like the ivory black is a nice medium. It's not too blue, it's not too cool, it's not too warm, but I can do all of those things to it. So let me get to some color mixes. Let's do like this maybe, or like this. I want you to still be able to see the palette. So I just dipped in some of that ivory black, but now if I dip into, go like that and you'll still see, yes, some of the cad red, I can get a beautiful kind of maroon color or make it even more of a brown. And then, if I add white to that, a nice neutral. Black is also very useful for a nice natural green. So that's a nice spring green. If I add a little more black to it, I get so on and so on. But then I also know, like with my green, not only can I add the raw umber, I could add black to it and get a beautiful green. I can add any of my reds to my green to either make a brown or a dirtier, more natural green. Because I use this palette so much, I know that I can use some of my emerald green and my quinacridone magenta to make kind of a purpley color. Kind of a nice like dirty purple. You noticed, I'm sure, that I don't have a purple on here, and it's because I don't really use purple much. Every now and then Dioxazine purple ends up on here, and I just don't really use it. I can just mix my own purple by, Quin in either one of those blues, depending on, I mean, that's basically Diaxonon purple. And the same goes for, I mean, I could do this with oils, but since I have my watercolor palette here, I'm going to just show you. So I can do the same thing with my watercolors. Because quinacridone magenta and watercolor and ultramarine. And I can get the exact same color. Let me clean that just a little bit and I'll show you. Let me get another piece of paper here. Let me show you one more thing. So I can get a beautiful black with my ultramarine and my burnt sienna. It's a much natural black. That's actually kind of a warmish black. If I wanted to push it to more of a, you can make a cooler black. If I added white to that. But I can get the same thing with my burnt sienna and my ultramarine blue and my watercolor. Again, a warmer black or a cooler black. And so that's why it's so helpful for me to use the same kind of palette. If I had oils, I could achieve these same colors. And so because I know the piano keys of this palette, and even though I have some extra colors on this palette, I still know raw sienna or the yellow oxide and blue make a nice, or the ultramarine blue, make a nice dirty color. Or I can add more to that and make it darker. Same thing over here. A little bit of that and a little bit of that. I can get a nice either green or just a dirty up the French Ultra. So I just know how to push things. So that's why it's important to have a limited palette. So that is my limited palette, and I'm seeing this here, so maybe I should mention this. Every now and then I'll throw a different green because this is such a kind of mid-green. Sometimes I do like a Viridian or just kind of a brighter green, and I'll stick it here. I rarely ever use it, but sometimes if I'm out, this is Viridian. I will want that, not for it to be that bright, but I'll add usually one of the reds to it to make it a little more neutralized. But that's a helpful color also. You can also use like a phthalo green. I have something like that on here. Sometimes it just depends on what tube I grab. It'll either be a Viridian or a phthalo. So I think this is like a phthalo, but it's very similar. It does the same thing. It's super transparent and bright, and I can do the same thing to it. All right, so that's my palette. My acrylic palette, but also a little bit of my watercolor palette and just my palette in general. This is my standard go-to beginner. This is what I start with and really just all I've worked with for years now. So don't forget to check out my online classes if you found this helpful, because I hold nothing back in my online classes. You get all the info. And if you just want to learn how I'm using paint, period, even if you don't do landscapes or still life, whatever the subject is, you will learn so much by just watching the way I use paint, the way I dip it in a brush, the way I move it on a page. There's just a lot in those kind of classes that are super, super helpful and inspiring. I hope you'll check it out. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Say freedom found a star when your heart is let go.